All right, I'm live. I am just testing this. I'm gearing up to start doing live classes and workshops for like everyone here on YouTube and all my followers on Instagram and whoever else wants to join me. So I just wanted to see how it functions. I've never gone live on YouTube before. I have on Instagram hundreds and hundreds of times. But so for the two people watching, I'm not here to talk about anything specific. I'm just testing how the live works. Although I see people are rolling in. But yeah, so for those of you that are just getting the first live notification, I am testing out YouTube Live to be able to do free classes. And basically, next Friday next Sunday, next Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is Oregon time, I will be going live to show you how to make an oil infusion. And so I'm just really working on that. I didn't think so many people would roll in already, just from testing it, but I'm guessing you all got a notification. So I will say that when I do my live video, I'm probably not going to interact with the comments and stuff, because when I save it, it takes away all the comments and it looks like I'm talking to myself. and so I probably won't do that, but maybe at the end of the video I can be like, now I'm reading like live comments and questions. But I see that I can also turn the chat function off. So yeah, I'm just kind of testing this out. I don't like how it blocks my face. I can see the chat, but I can't see myself. So I don't know how to change that. Let me see what, I can, okay, I can, some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. I can live chat. I can hide all chat messages. Oh, look, I hid the chat. But I don't know if you can probably still see the chat. So what I'll probably do when I go live for my free class this upcoming Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for teaching you all how to make an herbal infused oil and going over all these different things, is I'll probably hide the chat. And then what I'll do is when I'm ready to answer questions at the end, I will make all these visible. That way I'm not completely bombarded by seeing them on the screen, because I'm totally like a magpie. If I see your questions while I'm trying to teach the class, it takes a lot for me not to answer, you know? So I think that'll be a good option, and I like that YouTube doesn't doesn't limit how long I can talk. Although Instagram started doing that too, where they would just let me talk forever long. But that, you know, is a good and a bad thing. But I don't know if Instagram changes their abilities so often. Like, who knows? I might go to do a class there, and then all of a sudden I can only talk for an hour again, because that's used to be what they limit you. But YouTube doesn't really limit you. So yeah, it's really weird. It pops up. I wish that the comments would be saved, because unfortunately when there's comments scrolling through and it doesn't save in a video and I'm just sitting here like talking, it looks like I'm talking to myself. When people rewatch it, and I'm sure, as a lot of you know, trolls on YouTube are vicious. Like, out of all the platforms I'm across, like, YouTube is the worst. And so if I look like I'm talking to myself, it just gives them, you know, ammunition to come at me. But so yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It pretty much just works the same way as YouTube. What is this little button here? Oh, look, I can make myself look less tired. I can change the way it looks. Look, it kind of takes it away. I can make myself go black and white. I can, oh shit, I can have bubbles, people. This is a game changer. No, but I was curious as to what that was. And then I can, like, show the live chat again. There we go. But yeah, oh, you can look and see the chat on the live video. Yeah, I didn't know. This is all new to me. So I'm just kind of like seeing how this goes. It blocks my face when I chat though here. On Instagram it keeps it like to the lower level of the screen, and then they're kind of transparent. So they're like not background, you know? But yeah, the worst platform for trolls is YouTube because I can't put any comment filters on. On Instagram, when somebody says like mean shit to me or says something horrible, I can go into my settings and I can put like that phrase or a word or certain, you know, things that people say at me all the time or come at me. And if they try to say it, it instantly gets blocked. So they don't see that one. But YouTube is probably the worst because there's no videos, there's no comment filtering on YouTube at all, like at all. So yeah, I have some moderators, and I'm hopeful that they'll be here. I don't know how they'd go about, usually what we do is if somebody says something in my live video during Instagram live or something like that, if they say something fucked up, we just spam the live with emojis, and then nobody can see it because it gets it off the screen, right? But yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm pretty excited. So as a lot of you might know, I have been working on opening up this free hands-on herbalism farm called Dinner Still Needs Cooking, and we just bought this land here last November. We didn't really get a move in until December, and then like 2-3 months later, COVID hit. On top of everything else, we went through a huge flood that made like national news, and I was really ill from overworking myself. And so, you know, we can't exactly open to the public, not that we're ready anyhow, because it takes time to build infrastructure and stuff. But in the meantime, we're going to work really hard to put out these free classes and a ton more YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's kind of just going to be, I want you to know that this class on Sunday and going forward, it's not going to be like, hello, today we are going to discuss. No, it's going to be like you're just sitting with me and jabbering about it. I'm just going to talk, I'm just going to dump my brain out on you about like if we were just sitting across from a table just talking about oil infusions and the different options and things like that. And so I'm going to try to keep it to where like I do these classes in sequence. Like first we'll learn how to make an infused oil, and you know the variations, and I'll help you like decide on what you want to put like in your oil, because like it's gonna have like the herbal properties infused, right? And then from that I'm probably gonna do one on how to make a salve or a balm, and just kind of like work through my way like in tandem. And if you can't watch the live videos, it's okay. I'll definitely be saving them. A lot of people on YouTube ask me about my tattoos. For me, they're a representation like of my father's culture, like cultural, and it's like a real like active way of how I pray. Like it's an active part of how I pray, and I utilize it while I pray to the land and such like that. Like I'm a pretty hardcore animist. Doesn't mean I draw shit for a living. It means that like I believe that like everything that's natural is sentient type of deal. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited, and I'm glad this worked out. Also, it doesn't seem like I'm being super like heavily moderated here in the way that, you know, this is the first time I've gone live. I've got 157 people watching, now 161. Sometimes on Instagram I have to like fight for it, but I'll definitely, I don't know, I don't think YouTube allows me to do countdowns, but I did put a countdown on my story section in Instagram. I'll make a post about it tomorrow on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, I have a huge account over there. It's like where I'm biggest in the internet world. And I have a lot of information over there, and you know, I share all kinds of things in my stories of when I'm usually making stuff for my shop and all kinds of things like that. And so yeah, and I'm just trying to figure out best times and days and to kind of go forward from there. And you know what's really, really funny is I'm nervous. It's funny because I go live for my shop sales on Instagram all the time, and I talk for like 3 hours straight to like thousands of people, but I'm like, oh my God, this will be the first time I'm teaching a class live, and I think I'll be all right. But you know, just a tip for anybody who ever is going to do live stuff or like teach classes, openly talk about being nervous because it takes away your nervousness. It makes you feel a lot more. You're like, you know what? I'm fucking nervous right now, but we're gonna roll through this. It's gonna be okay. And it seems to like take away the power of it versus trying to hide your nervousness. And so I will be fantastic. I'll be all right, and I'll make fun of myself if I'm not. I really like to like crack jokes at my own expense. I'm like, well, didn't get that word out right, and it's just part of being human, right? Yeah, and so I'll definitely look into going live or giving notices here on YouTube as well. I share a lot of videos here, but I haven't been able, I haven't really dove into it on like a social media point where I'm like interacting a lot, right? Like I know there's story sections and stuff like that, and I try to respond to comments and stuff within my own like boundaries, and reasons and energy and all that stuff. But I think I'm really going to enjoy pushing forward more into YouTube. Yeah, I know that there's a mason shortage, mason jar shortage worldwide. It's been a pretty big problem. Like where I live, a lot of people do subsistence, like fishing, as part of their food, but also for a living. Like, because I'm here on a reservation, and like fishing is a big part of that culture, and like they sell canned fish, and it's like I've been working try to help people find jars with my resources, because I can order wholesale from a lot of places that people can't because of my really big shop, right? Like I have all of these like accounts and stuff, but it's just been. But if you buy spaghetti sauce in a jar or anything else in a jar, you can totally be saving those jars. And even though they say not to can with them, when you're making like herbal stuff, like infused oils and tinctures, they're just fine because you're not putting them through a canner. You're just using them as a jar. And so, oh yeah, I talk about that. Like, so a lot of things that are on shortage right now is like chest freezers and things like that. And I'm like, oh man, we're going to be able to buy these things up so cheap when everyone's like, okay, everything's over and I don't need these like 5 chest freezers I hoarded. And things like that. Yeah, you can reuse jars. I save all of my spaghetti jars, and I am kind of lucky in the way that I already hoarded canning jars for everything that I do, so I have a ton of them. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Oh, and speaking of the things that will be available after COVID, one fun fact: if you're looking to buy chickens right now, check Craigslist. Because everybody went out and they bought all the baby chickens they could and all these livestock animals and things, and then they realized that it takes 6 months, and they're just not chicken people or this stuff. Oh my God, there are so many chickens for sale on Craigslist right now. And they're all just about old enough to lay. It's been really, really, really interesting to watch like what's coming up and everything. But yeah, so this is working pretty well, and I also am excited about doing live chats or live videos here on YouTube, because it seems like I have a lot of followers here on YouTube that don't follow me on Instagram, and I have a lot of followers on Instagram that don't follow me on YouTube, so I think it's a pretty good way to make the two worlds merge, But I have really been enjoying YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, they're dumping those chickens because they got all these hens and they just don't know what to do with them now. True story. Years ago in a different town, and I've always been living in the Blue Mountain Range of Northeast Oregon, but like where we live, it's really remote, so there's like lots of just like little tiny towns all over the place, right? So like it's a food desert. You still have to drive to the same towns to get food, but we all kind of live in these little pockets of these little rural areas that don't have like stores and stuff. And somebody dumped, I no joke, I shit you not, 400 guinea pigs on a back road. And it turned out somebody had like plans to like make a food truck, like a taco truck. And guinea pig, a lot of people are freaked out about that, but like guinea pig is like a traditional meat source. It's just like a rabbit. It's no different than a rabbit, other than it's just smaller and doesn't have big ears. It's a rodent that people eat. And like, it was like the invasion of guinea pigs came into the little town where we were at, and it just went crazy. There were so many guinea pigs, and so many had to like we were trying to rescue them and rehome them, and it was just like, for like a year and a half later, like there were just guinea pigs everywhere because they survived. They survived the cold winter, and it was just. Yeah, I've eaten guinea pig before. It is just like rabbit. It tastes just like rabbit, except for it's not quite as dry. I don't like how dry rabbit is, but like, let's be real here. End of the world food. Guinea pigs reproduce quick. You know? But yeah, that happened years ago before COVID. Somebody's taco truck plans just fell through, and they just like released all the guinea pigs. But yeah. Yeah, all kinds of stuff is crazy. Well, I'm really glad that that this is working out pretty well. I was like, well, I better go and test the YouTube live platform before I, you know, schedule to do a live class and then like try it out the first time on the day of the class. Because then, you know, all kinds of things could go wrong. I like using a platform like this because I'm able to just, there's no limit on how many people can come here and watch me, you know, like I'm not trying to charge people for this knowledge. So like I didn't want to use something like Zoom, or there's a lot of places you can use where people pay to come in and watch the class. But I was like, you know what, YouTube Live will work just the same. We're not open to public sales right now. We're hopeful in like the next like 2 or 3 years, as like the property gets up and growing and things like that, and people are here and they're helping, we're probably going to have like a seasonal farm stand, you know, because we're going to have lots of vegetables. And like some of you might know that like I bake bread like crazy, and you know, and so I can do just little bits of stuff, and we'll probably have like tinctures and all of our, you know, creams and gels and things like that that people can come and shop. I do have a mailing address, and you can, I think I have it updated on my Instagram page. I need to go update it. I have like not a PO box, but it's like this address where people can send stuff to a real address, and then I get a notification when I get mail. And if it's just something that's like you know, like a, you know, whatever, like a bill or something in the mail, I can look at it digitally, and if it's something like a present or a gift that people like to send me, they can forward it to me. That way I'm safe, because y'all are awesome, but there's some fucking crazy people out there, and people either like really like me or really hate me. So I'm just mindful about where like I publish my public address, and I know that eventually it'll get out there because I am doing like classes like in real life when things are safe for people to come again. Yeah, I just have to be careful. But yeah, so this is working good, and I'm supposed to be down in my apothecary doing a bunch of work right now. But I'm pretty excited about this. And I told my husband the other day, we took a little drive upriver, and I was like, let's just, you know, when I'm really stressed out, I need to like go and be out on the land, and the land is here too on the property. I've got a little over 41 acres, but like I don't like okay, it's just something about going out into like the wild. This property, it's beautiful, but like in the 60s they did dry land farming here, just of wheat, and unfortunately there wasn't a whole lot of like chemicals that they were putting down back then. But what happened was it's mainly invasive plants here, and they cut down a lot of the trees, so it's not like wild. Like, it's beautiful, and it will get there, and we're going to restore her. But like, so I can drive like 5 or 10 miles upriver and be at a national forest where it's like wild, you know. And so I go up there to release, and I just was telling him that I just need to jump into doing these classes. And I have to do them on the months that I'm not doing a shop update, because it's too much for me to like be working 14-hour days and host classes, you know. And so yeah, I'm gonna do at least hopefully 3 or 4 classes. I'm a water sign, actually. I'm a Cancer. I'm a double Cancer, and then like ascending in Gemini or whatever. But like I'm pretty much just drowning in water over here. But so what was I saying? Fuck, see, I'm a magpie. I'm like, what? Huh? What question there? I want to try to do at least 3 to 4 classes this month, and then all of November I'll be busy working for my Black Friday sale, which is, I host over on my Instagram and everything like that. I don't sell things here on YouTube. And then after November I'll take a little bit of a break for the holidays, and then probably I'll start jumping back in December, January, doing more videos, doing more classes, and so I think that the wintertime is going to be pretty good for classes that are like making things, right? Like, what can we make out of things that any of us can order, really? So we'll be working with a lot of dried herbs, and teaching you guys how to make gels and things like that. I think would be pretty good. But yeah, and then kind of like hopefully next spring, we can start doing live workshops, like in real life. And even if you can't attend those because y'all don't live around me and not everyone's going to be able to come here, we'll be streaming those live too. So as I'm teaching a live class to people who are here, you can still watch a video of me teaching this live class. And this is all brought to you by the fact that we happened to pull off high-speed internet here, and we're pretty remote. It was crazy. We had satellite internet for the first couple months we were here, and it sucked so bad. I mean, I could barely, it took me like, Sally, get back in the yard, come here. It would usually, there's a train going by, so it's going to be loud. It would usually take me 24 hours to upload a YouTube video. And then it would drain all of my data, and doing live videos was hard. Sally, hold on, my dog is out of the fence. Come here, Sally. Come here, Sally. I'm going to get my dog. Come here, Sally. Come here. Come here. Come here. Where'd you sneak out of, even? Come here. Where did you go through? Excuse me. While I get my little dog back in the yard. Come on, Sally. Get in here. In. Come here. Come here. Come on. She's all elderly, so she'll wander off. Okay. All right, got my dog back in the yard. Well, on the back porch. They have like a little like doggy area that they can go into right here because they're just little, but she's elderly, so she'll wander off. But yeah, so the live classes in the summertime hopefully will be in person, and everybody will be able to watch. Okay, Sally, come here. Come here, Mama. Come here, Come here, This is Sally, the Great Escape Artist, and then this is Charlie. Sally's 10, almost 11 years old, and Charlie is 5 years old. And we don't want either of them to be running off too much, because they'll get snatched up, But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for things. It's a challenge adapting to the changes, right? It's so challenging to try to, everyone's like, and I get some hate from people sometimes. They're like, how come you haven't opened up your free fucking herbalism farm where we can come and learn yet? How come we can't come there yet? I'm like, well, we were only here 3 months before the world just completely upended on its head, in the middle of winter. And it was just really, really challenging. And so, but we are hopeful that by next spring, things will be calmed down. And we're going to do 2 things to where we bring in apprentices that live on site for, a certain amount of time. And they help me work, and they help me do all these things, and they'll even help me with videos. And then we're going to do workshops, and these workshops can just be a day class, or they might last 2 or 3 days, and people can camp or get a hotel room or things like that. But I'm hopeful that it'll be safe enough to do that come spring. We do have to be mindful that like I'm in Oregon, and I'm in Umatilla County. Don't worry, it's a big county. You can't find me. And it's we were like hit really fast, really hard, and we're like, when everywhere else is like opening back up, like we're still on like level 0, level 1 restrictions, like we open back up, and then like it just goes rampant again because everybody's refusing to wear masks, or, you know, and I'm not trying to jump into politics of if masks are effective or not, but it really makes it pretty hard, people join in. So that's probably going to be something that will happen during the classes. I've never gone live on YouTube, and I have a lot of subscribers here that probably don't remember subscribing to me. So they're going to be like, why is this person talking? What are you doing here? like this Daryl Decker person. What the hell is this? But I'm guessing other people get notified of when I go live. Probably not just my followers, you know. Yeah, dandelion roots or any roots that you're working with are going to have something in the bottom of the jar called inulin, and it's just a starch it's a non-digestible starch, and it's actually a good thing. Inulin is what, like when you take a prebiotic, so your probiotic works, these digestive starch feed the good bacteria in our body. There's not really enough of it in a tincture to really have great benefits, but it's not harmful at all. And it can be in a normal plant tincture too. If the plant is particularly stressed out, it builds up inulin levels, and then when you make a tincture, those starches get extracted. But oh yeah, I don't know how I'll show up to people when I go live, but I'll probably, while I'm doing the class, I'm probably going to hide the chat so I don't get distracted. And then at the end of it, what I'll probably do is like field questions, be like, okay, for like the next 20 minutes, I'm gonna answer questions that come across my screen. And so people can ask questions, and then I'll be like, I'll read your question out loud, and then I'll answer the question. So yeah, Mullein can take up heavy metal from the ground, and that's why you just have to be really mindful of where you gather from, and which is why it's important not to gather from like right next to like active roadways, because heavy metals come out in exhaust and they get put onto like the asphalt, and then when it rains they wash away into the soil, and then plants absorb those. But yeah, so I'm glad this is working out. Yeah. And then I'm probably going to start funneling people from Instagram over to here from now and the next of the week to get people like signed up and subscribed and knowing that I'm going live and to do all these classes, and just like really get this thing going. And YouTube has been like, I don't know why I've been blowing up on YouTube lately, but I have. I've got like something like 41,000 followers and or subscribers and gaining, and like I want to say like a month and a half ago I only had like, I don't know, like 20,000 subscribers. Well, I had that one old ass goldenrod tincture video went viral. I don't know why. It just got picked up in the Google search results. So like forever I was like the top search result when anybody Googled how to make a goldenrod or goldenrod tincture. I popped right up. So yeah, goldenrod, she's a really good ally. You know what's really weird? I live in the Blue Mountain Range of Northeast Oregon, and it's October and it's like 85 degrees out in the sun right now. That is so crazy. I typically, it's usually, you know, in the 50s or 60s here at this time of year, and gets down into freezing in the evening in October, but it's just like just going crazy. No, I can't do classes at my place yet. I'm hopeful for next spring, but I came on here live to test the live and talk about I'm doing a live class here on YouTube Live next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And so let me see what these little dots do. Oh, I can save a highlight, I can share, and I can mute my microphone. I also like that I can, look, it looks like I can flip the camera around. So that's fantastic, because I can, you know, show you what I'm up to. Like if I'm doing something like hands-on during a class, I can show you. And so, yeah, that's pretty handy. This is my view and my broken flagpole that came with the house. So, yeah, this is gonna work out pretty good. Let me flip this back around. Yeah, it's really cool that I can do that while I'm going live. I can do that on Instagram when I go live, but I wasn't sure about YouTube. This is the first time I've ever used YouTube Live, and I'm really glad that I jumped on here and did. No, I'm not anywhere near Klamath Falls. I live in Northeast Oregon, like the very tip of Northeast Oregon in the Blue Mountain Range. So we're like at the opposite, like Klamath Falls is at the bottom of the state, and I'm at the top right of the state. But we are still in a desert, but we're high mountain desert, so like I can be at like 5,000 or 8,000 elevation and it can still be 100 degrees out. You know. But what's really cool about high mountain desert is that we still have like lots of like trees and like, you know, and it's not just all sage and sand and like and things like that. But yeah, I could probably do eventually. I mean, I'm gonna branch into making all kinds of live videos, and then just from there I'll save them and they'll just be YouTube videos, and then I'll probably post them to my Instagram as IGTV videos as well. So yeah, we do have sagebrush here, but we live in really, really interesting biozones, meaning like in our section of Oregon, we have more little bioregions within our zone than anywhere else in Oregon anyhow. And so like I can go like 30 minutes, 20 minutes that way and be like in a subalpine forest, you know, like just thick, dense, like all kinds of life. And then I can go like 20 or 30 minutes that way and be in the sand barrens where it's nothing but just like alkali soil and sand and huge big sagebrush. They're actually called big sagebrush, that's the name of them. You know, and so, but it's really cool because I can also chase the seasons where I'm at. Like right now, in a little lower elevation, like all the elderberries are pretty much done for, but I can go like way up in elevation and I can follow the ripening. So like I can be gathering elderberry from like, you know, mid-July all the way through until late October, and it's pretty great. But yeah, so I am, yeah, we have a lot of bullets here. We have oyster mushrooms. We call them elephant ears, but oyster mushrooms is what most people know them by. And then we have a ton of morels. But there's probably other ones. You know, I know a good amount. We have lion's mane. Some types of reishi, a lot of polypore mushrooms. So my phone's about to die because I went live without plugging it in. But I'm really glad that this worked out, and I'm excited to teach you guys about oil infusions and what type of herbs to choose and everything like that this coming Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is Oregon time. And so I guess I'll see you then. I might have YouTube videos posted between now and then, but you know what I mean. So I hope to see you live. And if you're not following me on Instagram, come find me over there. I'll probably talk way more about going live over there than I will here, but I'm gonna get off of here before my phone completely dies. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.